Hi, and welcome to Entrepreneur Masterclass. I'm your host, Lea Woodford, and with me today is a special guest, Dr. Toni Brucato. Toni, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to talk to you today because, Toni, let's just talk about you. I mean, you have got multiple degrees. Let's talk about some of the degrees that you have.
I started off in social work. I have a bachelor in social work, science, and art. I couldn't decide between Spanish or social science. Then I went on to get a master's in social work.
Wow.
And in one of my jobs as a social worker, I assessed allegations of abuse and neglect in children, and I was encouraged to go for a doctorate in psychology, which I did, and in the process, I earned a master in art.
Wow. So it's safe to say that you're a lifelong learner.
Yes, that is a safe statement. Yes, I really enjoy learning.
Um, but Toni, boy, those are some pretty heavy subjects. I mean, dealing with abuse and a lot of trauma. What what inspired you to change career paths?
Uh, such a good question, and I think when I rise to the demands of the job and I feel that I have learned it,
Mhm.
sometimes I want a challenge for myself. So I switch things just to keep learning, just to be trying something new, slightly.
Okay, now I do it because I get bored. But what you're doing is so amazing, and you've kind of tell us before we jump into what you're doing now. Tell me about your day in the life of a social worker because I think your past really sets the tone for your future.
I worked with children and young people, kids who wanted to drop out, didn't see a future. And that's where I got my passion for wanting to help people find a vision because it started then. If you don't have a vision for what is possible, what you can attain, then chances are you might not find life so interesting or hopeful. And that's where joy comes in, being joyful about something and finding those things.
Well, education right now, it feels like the schools are taking away sports, they're taking away art, they're taking away all the things that actually probably motivated kids to go to school. So, I mean, how do you think that's impacted kids and their mental health? And then we'll talk about COVID.
That's so good, that you bring that up, and it's so hard on parents because I think that that situation for children is relying more on parents to deliver more when they get home. If the school can't provide it, then they're hoping that kids can get it at home, and if you're middle class or above, families can supply that, but what happens to a family in poverty, a family that is working very hard to make ends meet? That then becomes the challenge. And I think as a society, hopefully we'll help create options, affordable options for kids. Because I agree with you, the mental health in kids then is low. And I believe that the suicide rate in teenagers at this point in time is high.
Wow. I mean, we've never seen anything like this before in history. I think COVID really set so many kids back as far as education goes and being able to socialize. I mean, being isolated for so long.
That, and along with electronics, kids are getting telephones early, smartphones, and they're able to play games on them. So they're focusing on that, not necessarily on creating their own community, which is essential for wellness. It's essential for us women, everyone.
So you've transitioned from working with children and now you work with women. That's a big transition. Tell me about that. What made you, what inspired you to work with women? And I believe women really do need your help right now. Can we talk about that?
Yes, what inspired me is my work with children.
Hmm.
I was talking to someone recently who's going for her social work degree, and she wants to work with kids only because she says she doesn't she's not she's too much challenged by working with women. But I said, guess what? We're the leader of the household. We're the ones raising the children, and we need help. We need support. Very often it's a single parent and
Oh,
it's
as
a
a single
woman,
parent, yes.
and it takes a community to help and to raise that child and to know what to do and to know that what you're doing is very good. You need affirmation. You need to feel supported that, yeah, you're doing the right things. Maybe we can tweak one or two things, but you're doing awesome.
And I think women, especially right now, um, the country's just torn apart right now. And I think we're all feeling a lot of trauma. What are some of the things that you do with your women to help them just make their lives better a little every day?
May sound funny, but it's connecting with your breath, with your own breath, and learning that maybe you're breathing just shallowly
I'm a
because
shallow breather.
you're
Yeah,
so tense,
tense.
your
Yeah.
shoulders are tense, your lungs are tensed up, and to broaden your shoulders and bring the air from below your belly button through your chest.
Mm.
That is nature's way of bringing us from fight or flight mode, the sympathetic nervous system, to
Mhm.
the parasympathetic, the relaxation. So it's amazing to know that you have it within yourself to bring yourself to calmness.
So, can we talk about the mind, body, spirit? We all hear about mind, body, spirit all the time, but can you explain to us what they really mean by that?
It's so exciting. There's research on the placebo effect.
Mhm.
And that's how we know that the mind and body are so connected with what your thoughts are. Your body believes. Your body and your mind want to predict what will happen in the next day, or the next hour, or in a situation. And because they if your mind thinks negatively and you stay in that, your body will accept that as the prediction of what to expect.
Oh, we need to send you to Washington. You need to clear out some of those guys in Washington. So what can women do right now with all the stresses going on? I hear COVID's back. What can women do to protect their mind, body, and spirit, but also their families from the trauma that's going on right now?
It's hard for most of us to
Mhm.
put up boundaries and to recognize what doesn't make us feel good or supported, and then to cut that out. Really, one of the powerful things is to limit social media access. Instead of mindlessly scrolling, replace that time spent in something positive, whether it's talking to a good friend who gives sound, wise advice, or praying, or reading something uplifting and focusing on that, and perhaps even journaling a difficult time in their life,
Mhm.
and then unpacking that. What was difficult? What was challenging? What could you handle? What couldn't you? What could you handle better? Or who do you need to call that will help you handle that better?
So, Tony, what are some of the biggest challenges you're seeing with women right now?
I believe it's not understanding fully about productivity, seeing rest and rejuvenation as part of productivity, because you gain your creativity with rest. You gain more energy to tackle something and to be really productive in a powerful, creative way, a way that you wouldn't be if you just focused on work, work, work.
Well, and you say live with intention. What does that mean? That sounds beautiful, but what does that really mean?
That means being brave enough to take a step back and think about what you really want and need, and how intentionally will you get there. It could be a simple plan. It could be, I want to make someone happy, and I'm gonna bring flowers or get a cup of coffee for them, and I just wanna bring a smile to their face, and having setting that intention to do that. And certainly, I know you can't set an intention for every appointment you have on your calendar, but understanding who's the most important, where will you reap the most reward, and focus on that, and then live in the moment and enjoy it. Look for things for which to be grateful.
Now, Toni, how can women work with you?
I have a website,
Mhm.
www.livewithintentionandjoy, and there is a contact form that they can fill out.
Okay. And you're also big into vision boards. And I love vision boards. Can we unpack that for our viewing audience a little bit? Tell us about that, because how do you manifest your big goals and your big dreams?
I start with teaching women an element of meditation that helps you tune in to what you most truly want when you're creating and looking for something to put on your vision board. And then compiling colors and color blends and scenarios and words and phrases that really uplift you, and put that all on paper. But I also provide time to, excuse me, journal about the 7 domains of happiness and how it relates to your life. What would you like to see more or less of? And I use a lot of proven wellness techniques to help you de-stress, relax, and enjoy the process. But at the end of it, I lead people on a 90-day goal setting, so that when you leave, you have a roadmap to get at what you really want to accomplish.
Wow, that's amazing. Now tell me about this beautiful. I love this. Now Toni was nice enough to give me one of these, the Intentional Planner. This is beautiful. Can we talk about this a little bit?
I'd love to, because I love that as a resource to plan and strategize what is most important. I've changed the title. It will now be the Intention and Joy Playbook,
I
because
love
it
that.
has the tools to help you brainstorm and plan and track your goals.
But you say something that's so important. I mean, this for me personally, but a lot of women I know, we don't even celebrate our wins and we're off onto the next project. I mean, how important is it for us to journal and write down our goals, but actually rejoice in our wins before moving on to the next project?
So important, because you may trick yourself into believe that you haven't accomplished anything, or that you don't do much. I know I fell into that trap. So there's a place to document what you've accomplished, and you can sit back and think, "Wow, I did that. I did that."
I,
And pat yourself on the back. And then when you practice that for yourself, you do that for other people.
I just love that. And you work with essential oils, you know. Tell us about that, because there's a we all have heard about essential oils, but there's an art to that.
I enjoy aromatherapy. It encourages deep breathing. As you know, it relates to relaxation, but it also can relate to motivation and alertness. I love using certain scents that will motivate you to work and to enjoy that process a little more.
Now, I understand that you're a professional speaker. So, can you tell our viewing audience some of the topics that you speak on?
I talk about reclaiming your vibrancy and how that relates to being intentional with your life. So many women in the United States are dying prematurely from heart disease and diabetes when the life expectancy for us is in our 70s. So it's so important to be intentional with about your own wellness.
Oh, Toni, I have enjoyed our talk today so much. Will you come back?
I would love to. This has been just amazing, an amazing experience that I thank you so much for.
Oh, thank you. We will bring you back. This has been Lea Woodford with Entrepreneur TV. Thanks for watching.